It has been lonely sometimes. And there were many days when I said, can you really persist? And I no longer feel alone because there are so many who support the cause, including the National Association. Without affordable housing, there's no such thing as fair housing.
The sense of justice and equality was sparked in Eve in 1963 while serving as president of her sorority, and Black women were being shut out.
I was shocked, I was angry, and I said, I can't be part of this.
In 1965, Eve returned home to Libertyville and obtained her real estate license in Lake County, Illinois, a suburb north of Chicago.
Through the 70s and into the 80s, I realized that this battle was not going to end well for real estate professionals.
Early in her career, Eve was introduced to the Leadership Counsel for Metropolitan Open Communities, founded by Martin Luther King Jr.
Dr. King came to Chicago for a reason. It was to expose the complicated nature of racial inequities as it related to Chicago's housing community.
The Leadership Counsel conducted testing investigations, and as a result, filed numerous lawsuits against agents who engaged in discriminatory practices.
They won 8 times at the Supreme Court, and I said, if you will agree to help us do mandatory training and have the result of that, any pattern of practice, go to the Professional Standards Committee as opposed to a lawsuit, then I will join your board. And they agreed.
Eve became the first female and only real estate professional to serve as board chair.
Eve was a quiet giant that provided the kind of guidance we needed.
I was there for only one reason, and that was to help educate my fellow real estate professionals and to bring peace between the organizations.
After that program got into place, NAR entered in an agreement with the HUD to do the At Home with Diversity training as a form of fair housing education.
There was a shortage of 15,000 affordable housing units in Lake County, and that seemed wrong to me. So I got myself appointed to the Regional Planning Commission in order to make a difference.
In 1978, Eve had the foresight to find solutions and co-founded what is now Community Partners for Affordable Housing.
Due to a lot of Eve's work, Lake County was really at the forefront of a lot of the affordable housing work, including creating inclusionary housing ordinances.
Jose Rodriguez purchased a home through CPA's Land Trust Program.
I moved from Mexico when I was 16 to Highland Park. I knew it was a great community. I know it was a good place to live, to raise your kids, but I couldn't afford it. And then I found CPA, and then my dream came true.
We specifically worked in higher income communities because we want to provide more equitable access to the schools, the services, the quality of life that higher income communities often provide.
CPA will soon break ground on Eve B. Lee Place, a 34-unit senior affordable community in Libertyville.
We're honored to name it after you.
Well, thank you, thank you. But it's also honoring everybody who has stood by my side over these last 45 years.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're standing on the shoulders of giants. Eve, Ori Pennick, they're talking about how their work started with Martin Luther King coming to Chicago, and to be working with people who were there, you know, throughout that history is just a real privilege for all of us.
I think we all owe Eve.
I want my epitaph to be, she made a difference, one day at a time, believing in equality and justice for all.